I asked myself, is there a smarter, easier way for me to lose weight without counting the calories and without all the stress that comes with it? Tracking every bite, yeah, I wasn't seeing the results that I really wanted to see. But if you stay to the end, I will share 3 mistakes that I was making, and I'm sure it resonates with you as well, and how to fix them. Step number 1 is intermittent fasting. I know we talk about this all the time. Seriously, if you are fasting and you focused, and in a fasted state, it actually burns the stored fat that is laying around, especially that belly fat. And during the hormonal changes and shifts, if we implement that into our schedule, it made all the difference in the world. Instead of trying to burn food all day, the fasting state actually was burning that extra fat. Studies have shown that intermittent fasting improves insulin sensitivity and it boosts the metabolism. And that's why we have the issue in menopause. We're slowing down and the metabolism just wasn't budging for me to actually burn some fat. Once I really focused on my intermittent fasting schedule and did not cheat and did not lie to myself about extra snacking. So if you're starting out or if you're returning to fasting, that 16-8 is really a game changer. Eat within the 8-hour eating window of what you set for yourself and try to cut it off earlier in the night where it actually allows at least 3 hours before you go to bed. You will see a difference. You will see the belly fat come down. Okay, number 2, prioritize protein first. Anytime you're eating whole foods, right? Because whole foods is the thing that we really have to stick to. Have to cut down on the processed food. We're buying certain things in the grocery store that is in the inner aisles instead of the outer aisles. So if we stick to the outer aisles, which is animal protein and the produce aisle where all the live foods are and carry a lot of water in it, these are the things that will bring the weight down as well. When I stopped and prioritized protein first, then everything else goes around it. Protein fills you up, it fuels the body, and it also really builds up that energy. And it stopped my cravings so that you can extend for longer periods of time, whether you're going back into a fast or whether you just need to stretch it for a good 3, 4, 5 hours before you're ready to eat again. Examples of protein are like eggs, salmon, lentils if you don't want to eat animal protein. Also, even broccoli have some protein in it, but to get to the higher versions of protein, definitely like chicken as well are good things to start with. The easiest thing that I was adding into this is a combination, and that's in my guide about the begin again method. You have to combine it with moving more and being smarter about the movement in itself. I don't do a lot of high impact cardio. Where I get most of my cardio is with resistance training, which is like Pilates, or also weight training. At this age over 50, we really need to be careful about pounding on our bones. Remember, you're at risk of osteoporosis in post-menopause. So you want to be careful of that, but at the same time, you want to have strength building type of classes, or if you're doing it at home, if you have a gym at home, which I do, then that is a great way of not only strength training, but also for toning and for cutting into the fat percentage. So there's no need for me or anyone to live in the gym and feel like you have to work out 2 to 3 hours a day. I mean, who has that kind of time, right? So I'm walking, and that's another thing, walking 10,000 plus steps a day. Now, it seems to be the magic number is over 10,000 when you're in weight loss mode. Now, if you can only walk maybe 6, 7, 8,000 miles per day, just try to bump it up a couple of hundred more steps and gradually move your way up. So really you're thinking about it, okay, I'm gonna walk an extra 15 minutes, and that's what I started doing, is just adding on more time and going out farther when I'm outside. When I'm in the gym, I would do the hit the treadmill. And so that would have me do intervals. And so when you're intensifying your walk, you're burning a lot better and more than you ever imagined. Walking in an incline or uphill is the way to go. When I was doing more of that, I definitely saw the difference.
We're going downhill now, and this is my famous hill. So if you have time for walking, but you don't have time for doing weight resistance type of exercises those days, then kick it up, either walking faster, like power walking instead of casual walking, or you can do inclines like up this hill that I'm walking on right now. Even going downhill is very good. And so that helps you with toning, resistant type of movements. So inclines are excellent for helping the lower body and toning up, if you get my drift. But it just helps you burn more calories in the end.
Movement, walking, stretching. I added anything I could think of, walking farther away in a parking lot. These are the things that kept stacking up through the day, and then it added an extra 200 calories per day just by making it a little more difficult. When you're out in nature, it pushed me further and to go longer because I'm seeing the sights and all the beauty in the world. That just motivates you in doing the movement that you need. And those 10,000 steps, I didn't even feel it. And it just became a normal part of my day. Step number 4 is if you cut the sugar, going to make a huge difference. So when I really stopped eating and snacking on sugar foods or processed foods, because processed foods are usually in a box, if you can read the ingredients, 9 times out of 10, it's added extra sugar that we just don't need. And sugar also equals extra fat on the body. And to remember, it is going to cost me more in the long run to get rid of the extra 2, 3, 4, 5, or 10 pounds. So my advice there would be ditch any soda. Don't drink anything that is pertaining to sugar. Stick to water. Add in fruit. And that kind of fused types of water like lemon water, orange, citrus fruits. I mentioned Ars Coso enzyme drink, and that's a great way of exchanging out soda because it has over 100 vegetables and fruit that has been fermented over a year, and it is natural sugar already in there. You can splash that into your water, and it's especially very tasty if you're drinking sparkling water. And that's a great way to replenish yourself, but also to keep you away from craving the soda. Otherwise, I will do berries, and I'll take strawberries, cut those up, and drizzle a little bit of honey on it if I really want to get fancy, or sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on it. Put it in with yogurt as well. These are good things that you can replace. Bottom line is to cut the sugar and not the food. And that's what I did. Step number 5, break your fast right. What I ate completely mattered. And I mentioned that before. Starting out with protein, that really helped to not only maintain my results longer, but also to make sure that I was still feeling satiated when I did break my fast. And I've done this before where I messed up my first meal. And basically, it just set me up and it hit me harder later in the day because I was always craving something more. Carbs make you crave more and more. So starting out with a protein to break that fast is going to make a difference. And even fat. Fat is great, like avocado. So that best fast breaking meal is protein plus healthy fat plus fiber. If you think in these ways, then you can't go wrong. And that's what really saved me. So an example of what I was eating all the time was eggs with avocado, also tortillas. That works wonders for me. It's kind of my go-to. And I usually eat that 2 times a week. Another thing was the green smoothie. I have my green drink, my amazing greens. So if I really want to be careful about what I'm doing in the mornings, then I will utilize doing a green smoothie. I would end my fast around noon or 1 o'clock, and then I would probably cut it off around 6 or 7 o'clock. So that's kind of where I was falling in my schedule. But a 16-8 is still great as long as you stay true to yourself and make sure that you do cut it off at the time that you set up. Okay, before I wrap this up, I promise there are 3 biggest mistakes that I see people make, including myself, when you're trying to lose weight without counting calories. The first mistake is thinking that you have to eat every 3 hours. That's certainly not true when it comes down to fasting. So that's your secret weapon. And the longer that you hold on fasting, you will burn more of the stored fat. And that turns it into energy, and then you're feeling great. And I also thought that my metabolism would slow down if I didn't eat all the time. Science shows that if you give your body a break from all the digesting that you're doing from eating food in the first place, that you will burn more stored fat. So try fasting with the 16-8 that I mentioned before, because if you're doing a true 16-8, that 8 hours in the eating window, and cut it off at the end of the day, your hunger hormones will adjust. Mistake number 2 is prioritizing cardio over strength. Doing strength or weight resistant type of exercises is really king here. Older that we have to take care of our bones and strengthen it up and strengthen your muscles, tone it up. And that's going to make the difference when you see some weight loss there. You're losing fat. A lot of us think that, running on a treadmill, which I used to do all the time, but now it's about that strength training or weight resistance type of exercises such as Pilates. And these are great ways of still burning the fat, which will also tone up your muscles, which also will slim down your body and make you look more slim, even if you didn't lose all the weight that you were trying to get off in the first place. 2 to 3 times a week is all you need, and you will see a major difference. Mistake number 3. Breaking your fast the wrong way. So when you eat first, it sets the tone for the rest of the day. If you break the fast with processed carbs, that will totally spike up your insulin resistance. So think eggs, salmon, avocado, or a green smoothie. This keeps the cravings low and your energy high. If this is something that you're interested in with fasting and you want to lose those 10 extra pounds, you should grab my guide. I have it in my description box below. If you're struggling with those last 10, 15 pounds, or even 20 pounds, it's all laid out for you. Please leave a comment below if you have any questions on how I did it. And if you're struggling, please do check out my guide. And always remember, you can begin again. Cheers.